name's Mahita.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kirti.
And today we are sitting down with the Judy Carter,
a comedian, motivational speaker, and author with 4 HBO comedy specials and over 7 books published.
And her newest book, Making Money Being Funny, is out now.
She is a complete expert on how to connect with your audience using comedy, but also communicating with people, which is super important for any career you're going into.
So, in today's episode, we're going to be discussing how to embrace failure and laugh at yourself while doing so.
Because failing is hard, but failing in front of a roaring crowd is even harder.
So without further ado, let's get straight into the interview.
Okay, so we just wanted to start off with a easier question first. What made you choose to not only be a stand-up comedian, but a motivational speaker, and specifically in corporate settings?
Oh, well, my philosophy is just to go yes. When someone says, "Hey, can you do something?" Yes. And then I figure it out later. And so when I was like really a kid, I had a speech impediment. And what happened, I'm so sorry, my dog has to come in. Wait, we'll cut this. We'll edit it. All right. So I had a speech impediment. So in order to, and I was made fun of, and everybody laughed at me. And I kind of liked it. I know it sounds weird, but I realized that if I was like act stupid or something and people laughed at me, that I could do something with that. And so I started doing birthday party business, learned some magic, and I learned that if I memorized a script, I wouldn't trip over words. So I learned at a really early age how to like memorize a show, stand in front of people, and perform.
Wow.
And so my suggestion to anybody is just to do it. It's like just do it. And when obviously you start to bomb, and that's a part of it. There's not one famous comedian who has not bombed. We all bomb, Taylor Tomlinson, everybody. We all go up there and just sometimes it doesn't work. A lot of times it doesn't work, but then you just learn from it and you keep going.
Yeah, that brings me to another question. Like, how does failure really like push you to be more confident in yourself? And how do you like convey that to maybe the people that you're speaking to at your events?
If you're not failing, you're not trying. And Jerry Seinfeld said something I really liked. He says, if you don't quit, you can't fail. So if you fail and then you go, well, I'm not going to do that again. Well, then you failed. Then failure got you. But I love like what Alyssa Liu said. Am I saying her name right? Alyssa Liu, the figure skater.
Yeah.
Who like she quit because she got too scared and she was frightened of falling and she didn't like it. What if people don't like her and all that stuff? And so that sucked all the joy out of her performance. And even though she was winning, competitions, she just went, this isn't fun for me anymore. And then she spent 2 years just doing who am I and what am I into, and then she came back because she went, you know what, I'm going to do it because I love doing it. So if you're doing it for validation, like I need people to like me, you're more likely to fail than go, I'm really excited about this. I love doing this. I love making people laugh. I love how, it makes me feel. I love how it makes people feel. So I think we can all learn from her about really rediscovering our joy. And we do what we do not to be perfect and not to like, oh, I'm going to impress people, but I'm going to do it because I love doing it. And if you love making people laugh, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you because you're just you're one of us. Like we comics, we're weirdos. We're just so weird. There's something that happens. It's like a drug, um, but legal in
Yeah.
our brain that when we get a laugh, it's like, wow, I feel so good. So if that's you, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
You have no choice. You're one of us. You're a funny person.
Yeah.
I think it's like so important to find a career that you love doing and that you have so much joy in doing like every day. And I was also like thinking of all the adversity that you were saying that you faced earlier, that like even when you don't have like the best show one night and you just keep going. So I was wondering like what is your greatest accomplishment from like overcoming these adversities and just finding joy in your job along the way? Like what has been the greatest accomplishment this far?
Well, my greatest accomplishment is my whatever I've done last because I don't remember anything else because I'm too old at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean the triumph I remember that really struck out for me was is always and always will be when I connect to an audience different from me. So I was asked to open for, I don't know if you even know him because he passed away, but he was a really famous musician. His name is Prince. And I don't know if you know him, but I was going to open for him. And my friend said, oh man, don't, his audiences will hate you because of the difference in our races. And and I went, no, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it because I know there'd be a way I can connect and build a bridge to the audience. And I did. And I went on to be his opening act. And it just that night was the best night because I had to overcome a lot of things in my head that go, well, if we're different, they won't like me. But I found a way to do it, and didn't just they just loved me. What I did was they all lined up outside and was at the Roxy on the Sunset Strip.
Mhm.
And I went, and they're lining up. And you know how you have to line up and you have to wait there a long time. So I got an accordion and I played really poorly the same song over and over. And they went, oh God, that girl, when is this long? We got to get away from this. And, some people are throwing me like a quarter. And, and I was pretending to be blind and just playing, accordion and begging for money. Anyway, they file in, going, finally, we don't have, I was going to kill myself. That was so horrible. And then they come in, they sit down, they're ordering drinks, and they go, hey, we're here to see Prince. And they went crazy. And opening show is Judy Carter. And I walked out on stage with that accordion. The entire audience went, oh shit. And I fooled them and they loved me. It's just like there's always a way when you have like, oh, this might not work. I love problem solving. I love trying to figure out how can I get this audience, what am I going to do? And that's the most fun.
Mhm.
That's really the most fun. I love that stuff. Because,
Yeah.
stuff goes wrong all the time.
Yeah, I love how you use humor to really tie into everything that you say and do. I feel like that's such a driving force and like a brand for a person and also like how you genuinely are. It's very clear to see that that's genuinely you. And I was wondering, why do you think humor is such an important tool for people who are looking for success or just even development in their career?
Oh, okay. Well, here's the thing. None of us are perfect, right?
Mhm.
And perfect people are not that funny. Have you noticed people are like, I'm so perfect? Yeah, well, yeah, you're boring. And so when you like have a problem, and you make fun of it, you know, um, it the problem then decreases. So I always think it's it's not good to poke fun at anybody else, like, um, except if they deserve it. You know, like the president of the United States. We won't mention names, but yeah, go punch away. But you don't want to punch down. So you don't want to punch down at somebody because of their because of their race or their religion or their disability or whatever it is. That is like punching down. So the way I always suggest in my book, The New Comedy Bible, for people to start writing material is, what don't you like about yourself? And then take what you don't, whether it's like that muffin fat you have, like, give it a name, you know, give it a voice. Go, Judy, we're tired of hanging over your belt, you know. Oh my God. Anyway, so give it a voice. And it's always fun to make fun of yourself and like if you're really short or if you're really tall or whatever it is about yourself, anything that people notice, joke about it because that's what comedy is. Comedy is like complaining, but funny. So when we do that, the problem goes away.
Right. And I think the thing is, as a society, we're
Do you
so
realize all of you have the same length hair? Is that just a rule in nobody's allowed to cut their hair? Everybody
Yeah, it's a very strict rule.
very strict.
Make
No
sure it's all
short
leveled
hair.
out.
I didn't even notice that.
That's crazy.
Oh my
No,
God.
I'm looking at you and going like, my goodness.
I think that, wait. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think the thing about our society is we are so scared to do anything because of a fear of embarrassment. And I think the amazing thing about comedy is you kind of you kind of put yourself out there for people to, either laugh and join with you or not, but it's so scary going into that unknown. But it's I think it's just really brave how comedians specifically put themselves out there like that.
Yeah, it's because if nobody laughs, then it is sort of like public humiliation.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
true.
the best thing you could do with that is just go, yeah, you didn't like that joke. Another, what a surprise. Not only is my life going in the toilet, so is my act. Thank you so much. It's just, I love, there's a comic, Jessica Curson. She just comes on stage just going like, I'm in hell. I'm just in hell. I hate myself. Look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh my God. It's just like, that's what it's all about. So even when you fail, because you all talked about failure a lot, and I imagine at your age that's a big topic because
Yeah.
you have all those hecklers in your life. Oh, wait a second, they're called parents. It's really great when you're my age. You go, no parents in the house. I'm every day. I go like, thank God, I can do with that whatever I want. But when you can make fun of failure, that's when you triumph.
Mhm.
When when you realize that your life is a joke and you're funny about it, that that is so awesome.
Right. And I think those are the best type of people to be around, the people who can make light of any situation.
And just
Yeah.
roll with the punches and keep going with your show.
Yeah.
And
Now, if you just actually, here's a start that you could do. If if you just say the word woohoo loudly, um, after a failure, it's really great. I just got an F on a test. Woohoo!
Yeah, and I think that
It
really,
instantly makes you
yeah.
so woohoo. At least I'm consistent, just like the last F I got. Woohoo! And it's just a funny word to say
Yeah.
about something that more people go bummer, too. So there you go.
And I think it also leaves so much room for you to grow because you're able to not look back on that and be like, oh my gosh, I did that. But you're able to, build off of it and grow further.
Yeah.
And kind of shifting focus onto your book a little bit more, seeing how you've been really pushing like a lot of new like books and like new career aspects of your career that are really inspiring to see. What would advice you have for girls like us who maybe want to start comedy or even just follow our passions in general?
Well, I think it's really good to make a list of things you don't like about yourself and find some advantages to them. Find like find because it's counterintuitive thinking. Like most people complain and don't like it, but love those things. So find a different way to react because comedy is having a different reaction, an unexpected reaction. And that's what makes people laugh. Second, what I said today is make a list of all the stupid things people say to you. Okay. And don't be afraid to talk about them. But rather than getting angry at them, the stupid things, and I mean, do you have people say stupid things to you? Like, what kind of things do they say? Like what?
I've had somebody say to me, I want to be darker than you when I get tan in the summer.
You want to be darker than me?
Yeah.
Well, in your case, they call that a tan. In my case, they call it discrimination. That's actually a good joke. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, everybody. This is such a good time. And sarcasm is awesome. Oh, yeah. What a great time to not be white. Yeah, it's perfect. So much privilege. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
go against, about what's going on in the world. Yeah, that's a really you know, all the stupid things people say about race to someone because of their race is such a powerful thing for comedians to tackle.
Mhm.
And so many comedians, like from, Joe Croy to Ali Wong to Margaret Cho to, have made wonderful careers. Because if you are discriminated against because of, your race or because of your LGBTQ plus, it's absolutely necessary to learn how to get laughs from that. It brings up the topic, but in a way that people can hear it.
Right. And then if I could ask you one last question, since
Sure.
our podcast is like focusing on women and their impact in society, I just wanted to let you know that we did some research before this and found that as of 2024, according to the Daily Trojan, that 77.8% of stand-up comedians were men. And so we found this statistic like really surprising, and we're wondering
Wait,
like,
the Daily Trojan from USC?
I think so, yes.
Or
Okay.
Um,
77.8% of stand-up comedians on Netflix.
on
On
Netflix, yeah.
Netflix for men.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Oh, really? There's discrimination against women? Didn't notice.
I know. So
Yeah.
Really? It's
yeah,
horrible.
Mm.
It really is horrible. It always has been horrible. But anyway, your question?
I was just like wondering what kind of challenges you face being a woman in this male-dominated field.
Oh, constant. Absolutely constant. I would do a showcase. I would be probably the only woman there. And and I would kill and I'd be the only woman who didn't get a pilot, a series, a gig. Um, and the discrimination and the whole thing of comics and the misogyny, misogyny and sexism and homophobia are really not the names of West Hollywood drag queens. They're really real stuff. And the idea that, oh, women just aren't funny. So what I have done is, and if you go to judycarter.com, you'll see I have a site just for women and just women comedy. So a lot of us have gone like, hey, to hell with it. We're going to have women only nights. We're going to do our own comedy, and it has been so liberating. All across the country, there's something called Girls Night Out, where a community will get together and it'll be just women only. Leave your husbands at home, and we do comedy about us. And so I think that's been a really good thing for women because a lot of female comedians have to get really nasty and dirty to compete with the men. I don't do that. Um, I like just being who I am. I don't like being in reaction to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I've had to find different ways to make a living. And you mentioned the corporate market where I'm very popular. There are so many, like I've done nursing conventions. They pay a lot of money. I get to do an hour show and I get treated really well and I love it. So there's a lot of options for comedians who don't fit in. There's a quote in my new book called Making Money Being Funny. And it's like, don't wait for the gatekeepers to let you in. Build your own damn gate. And that's the way it goes. You can find a place that to perform. When I went, I was laughing about the Daily Trojan because I went to school there, and I actually wrote a letter to the Daily Trojan because in the drama department, all the women had small parts. They had, wife of, they were the maid that came in or something like that. And I wrote a letter complaining about sexism in the drama department. And this was quite a while ago. And at the time, the dean of the drama department slapped me, called me into my office, slapped me. I fell to the floor. He stood over me and he said, if you mention this, I will say it never happened. But don't you dare criticize the drama department. And you know what I did? I went off campus and I did a show. And I found a coffee shop and I paid the coffee shop and people supported it. And it was super fun because if I don't fit in, I'm just gonna do my own thing.
Yeah.
That's so good. And it's just so
Very-
amazing.
That's super inspirational. I
Right.
think.
And it's so amazing to see how your like career like grew from there in that moment and like just
And
took
how you
off.
overcame that adversity.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of our interview, if you never give up, you can't fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important for our listeners to take with them
As
as they
well.
watch this. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, you think it's going to be easy? It's not. But
Yeah.
keep saying yes. I started this conversation with that. Say yes. Keep moving forward and keep being in touch with the reason you do it, your why. Why do you want to do it? Because it brings you joy.